Hi, I'm Abe Peck, the Executive Editor of Inside Unmanned Systems, and we're here at the AUVSI Exposition Show in our beautiful Orlando, except we're indoors. And, and we're here with folks from Stratum, and namely Mark Gordon, who's the President and CEO, and Ross Wayner, who's the Systems Engineer. We're going to talk about a few things. So I was fascinated. We were talking about the idea that you really specialize in off-road autonomy.
Yep.
So why don't you open up by talking about that?
Yeah, so our core focus as our company is we work in autonomous vehicles, autonomous ground vehicles that are really working in an off-road environment. So a lot of folks are trying to challenge the problem of how do you drive, driverless cars and semi-trucks that are on the road, and we're really focused in this off-road space, what we kind of like to call beyond the warehouse as well. So beyond the warehouse, how do you move goods in that last mile environment that we're looking for? So we're developing a lot of autonomous vehicles that are focused in that area that move heavy cargo. Around 2,500 pounds to 10,000 pounds of cargo are the areas that we're focused in from our movement perspective.
Wow, so that's, we were talking before, I don't know how political this is, but we were saying it's a good thing the other guys in Ukraine didn't have this, they got stuck in the mud. But and then so the weight of this is really significant because a lot of vehicles of that weight would sink into the mud, all kidding around.
Yep. So we're very conscious on weight because a lot of our application, we're actually flying in an aircraft, bringing cargo and coming out of an aircraft. So the less, the more the vehicle weighs, the less payload is available.
Right,
to
there's
take,
only so much to go around.
There's only so much to go around. So we really focus on that. We're kind of leading edge in a way because we're usually a 1-to-1 weight to lift ratio with our vehicle weight to the payload capacity that we have.
Right. Well, that'll keep you disciplined,
Exactly.
So, from an engineering point of view, how does that work? What goes, what stays, and
Sure. So sometimes it's selecting the right materials because you could make this whole thing out of steel and it would just weigh as much as
building,
as much as the plane that's designed to carry it. But for our sense, it's really how do we optimize that design as much as we can. And it's not just being able to be light to carry more weight, but also increases the flexibility of the vehicle because you can go more places. You're not getting stuck in the mud, but you're also not limited in the amount of pressure you're putting on the ground if you're going over a bridge or some of those sorts of things. And it gives you more range, so the vehicle can go further. It can have a lot more capability, and you don't have to over-design everything else to carry your own heavy load around. So there's a lot of benefits.
So you're looking for the sweet spot.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, great. Now, second area.
Yep.
Even more fascinating in some ways, robot refueling.
Yep. So we have a system called the Rapid Autonomous Refueling System, and it is a system we've been developing over the last 3 years. And we've demonstrated the capability to refuel ground vehicles as well as aircraft that are on the ground. So we use a robotic arm that's integrated with a bunch of sensors, whether it's a LiDAR sensor or camera sensors, that we scan the side of the aircraft or the side of the ground vehicle, determine where the fuel port is, engage with that fuel port, and then pump fuel. It can also be used for different types of liquid movement in general, right? Hazardous types of liquid material movement. That would be other applications for this, as well as looking at UAV applications. UASs that are going to be coming down and require fuel of some type, we'd be able to provide that type of robotic refueling as well.
And if I heard you correctly when you were talking to my colleague, this can get you have to be precise if you're doing a helicopter or something like that. So why don't you talk about that?
Exactly. So we have refueling on the ground for ground vehicles, but we also refuel aircraft as well. And when a helicopter lands, for example, they don't shut down the engine and stop the rotors and all that. It would take too much time. So instead, the rotors keep spinning, and it causes the vehicle to rotate back and forth and vibrate. And so the system that we've developed is able to account for that in both the vision system to know where to reach out and make the connection with the aircraft, but it's also valuable because we can do that on the mechanical side, so it's not jostling our system all over the place as well. So it's a nice little engineering challenge, whether we're pumping fuel or whether we're recharging and with electricity and those sorts of things as well.
Go, please.
Yeah, another interesting component that happens is when the aircraft takes on fuel, it starts to sink. And so
that's right.
So we've had large movement, right?
Variable, right.
Our system has to adapt to that movement.
So how does it do that?
So our arm kind of goes into a limp state, so to speak, where you can grab it and it just sinks with the aircraft.
Oh, wow. Three dimensions for sure, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right. And then you have a new product.
Yep, and so from a lot of the work we've been doing on our ground vehicle platforms, developing our own internal ground vehicle platforms in the software architecture that we've developed around that, just this week we've announced the launch of our Summit autonomous software platform. So that's going to be kind of consists of three key components. The first is the Summit core architecture, which is our basis of how we'll interact with all the various vehicles, sensors, and behaviors. The second is actual modules and behaviors. So as we work with customers to understand their outdoor applications, they maybe have unique behaviors, like the ability to load in and out of a Connex box or in and out of an aircraft. And then the third component of that is our integration services. So working with our customers to understand the vehicle that they're going to be trying to make autonomous, what systems does it have, does it need, and then what are their key points that they're trying to solve with autonomy, and then developing a solution set around that.
And you were saying, I believe that so we're in the high prototype stage. Would that be about it?
Yeah, we're very high fidelity prototypes with our capabilities. We're starting to look at initial releases of both our robotic refueling as well as our cargo movement systems.
So if you were to come here next year, what would you be talking about?
Yeah, so we're working on some additional new platforms that are larger in scale, as well as some additional capabilities on a robotic refueling component. So basing off that core technology and expanding into new areas.
And what are you hearing from the people who stop at your booth or corner you, about their needs and about, I mean, once they get past the gee whiz factor, and they get down to it.
Yeah, I would say a lot of people are very excited about what we're doing. We're one of the very few companies here at the show, right, that's doing the types of autonomous ground vehicles that we have. They see that as a challenge. In a lot of ways, people are focused on this challenge of moving heavy semi-trailers, right, on the road.
Right.
But what do you do with that cargo once it's gotten there?
Yeah.
Because you really want to be able to move it from that location into the warehouse where there's already a set of systems.
And you use last mile. So
we use that last mile component.
Okay, well, great. Anything you guys want to add? Or?
Yeah, I think I agree with what Mark said on the summit. I mean, we've been working on autonomous vehicles since 2006. We have 15 years of experience in this field, and it's not focused in the warehouse like most of the development has been. It's really in this unique space that we provide value in that's not necessarily covered by many other companies. And we've been able to develop this across a bunch of different platforms. And so as we launch this summit product, it's universal by design because we want it to work across our whole fleet. We don't want to be adding an enhancement 4 times to do 4 different vehicles. We want to do it once and be compatible with everything.
Right.
But the same can be true for the people, the customers of Summit, because they can put it on their bulldozer or their forklift or what have you, and immediately get all the benefits of what we've been developing without having to start from scratch, like if they made it themselves.
So what does it fit? I mean, I haven't been to your booth. I'll do that tomorrow. But what does it look like physically?
Our vehicles, or
the vehicle, and I guess if there's a piece of software that's
so the piece of software, of course, it is software, right? So we would work with our customer on, do they have existing computing platforms on their systems that we would integrate into? Right. Would we need our own autonomous computing platform?
So you're agnostic in a way.
Yeah, we're agnostic.
You don't make your own module or anything.
That's correct. And then same with sensor selection, right? Working with our customers on what's the right sensor selection for what their needs are.
Yes. So if they came to us with their product that wasn't autonomous already or didn't have that capability equipment-wise, we can retrofit.
You're here to help, right?
Right. We have the experts. We've been doing this on our own platforms.
Yeah, that's like there's a company, Perone Robotics, that we cover, and they do retrofits. So that's great. All right, well, this has been great, I think. I'm really fascinated by this. And again, I think we'll be back to you.
Very good.
We really appreciate your time.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right, great. Kevin, what was our